No. You do a good horse impression.
Do I?
Can you?
Oh.
Yeah. I'm never a big fan of that one. Can you move your foot slightly? No! No! No!
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Boys Gone Wild. You just joined us horsing around.
Oh,
Yeah,
very
good.
suave, very slick.
Before the episode, I was watching Piers Morgan interview Noam Chomsky. Have you seen
I
that?
can see it right there.
Did you see that come up?
No, but I've seen that Noam Chomsky might be coming and talking in the UK soon.
Is he?
Weirdly,
I'd definitely go.
A Marxist thing. But no, I haven't. Is it like a full balls to the wall interview? Or is
Yeah,
it?
but with Noam Chomsky, it's funny because the guy, he's already dead. All right, he died about 7 years ago.
Yeah.
He's the oldest man who's ever lived.
Yeah, it's true.
He's 200 years old, and he
His
sits...
facial features don't really cling onto his head anymore. They're kind of slowly off.
He's so smart that he's lived past his body. His body
Yeah.
had died long ago.
Yeah.
And he's just, his brain is
So
just...
his body has died, but his brain's still going.
Yeah, there's like a lag just
Yeah.
because it's such a... It's like sinking a cruise ship. It just takes a while to go down. It's just
Yeah.
so heavy that it takes him. And now, what I love, he does... I'm a big Gnome guy, obviously the GOAT. He ended the conversation with this. That this is going to end the
Or the
conversation.
Piers Morgan.
Yeah, this ends the conversation.
What are they talking
This is
about?
like Messi winning the World Cup.
Yeah, yeah.
Ends the conversation. No, it's always the same old shit with Noam. And
Yeah.
he doesn't really know who's interviewing him either. What happened, it seems, he lives in Arizona now. And he seems to wake up and then do 3 or 4 Zoom interviews a day and has
Is he that prolific?
so prolific.
Does his name sound like a vegetable?
Like a
Like a kind of a West
yam,
African...
a gnome,
like
a yam.
Like a... Yeah. Like
a-
a Noam Chomsky. A Noam
What,
Chomsky.
the whole thing, like a Noam Chomsky?
The whole thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Or like a dish, but I think a vegetable-based dish.
yeah.
A Noam
What, with like
Chomsky.
aubergines in
Have
it.
you not had Noam Chomsky before?
Noam it does.
Know what I mean?
Yeah. No, Noam Chomsky.
Oh,
Sounds
he's
delicious.
obviously like the second character in a Noam film.
Who's the first character?
Like Noam Chomsky. Well, it could be like, you know, Marston, a Grandad Gnome.
And then Noam Chomsky.
Noam Chomsky. He's an eater. He's fat.
Do you think Noam Chomsky would be in
Chomp,
Noam?
chomp.
No, do you think Noam Chomsky would be the fat friend in Romeo and Juliet if they had like a fat version of like
Correct,
Tybalt?
yes. Or Charlotte Gnomes.
Of course. Curse of the Gnome Rabbit.
Was that one of them?
No, I don't know.
Well, no, that's Wallace and Gromit, isn't it? So, no, sorry. The vegetable thought pops up to come out.
He seems to just do all these Zoom interviews where he doesn't quite know how to look at the camera. He's way too close to the camera always. He's getting older and older each one.
Yeah.
And he just...
He's going old well, though. I like the facial hair.
Yeah.
I think that, like, he's doing like a Letterman.
Yeah.
I
Well,
like resigning and then retiring and then immediately getting the biggest beard you can get.
Yeah.
I like that as a decision.
It's true, but like Letterman's doing it in a kind of... There's still a manicured feature to it when he comes out. Chomsky is about to turn into the wind.
But remember, Letterman's a few years behind.
About
Chomsky.
20 years behind Noam
So
Chomsky.
how old is he?
95 years old.
Noam's not. Stop doing it. Don't go on Talk TV. There's no
He's
need to talk to
95.
Piers Morgan.
It does feel like he's about to turn into an oak tree. Do you know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
his next form.
His roots are slowly solidifying underground.
And then he'll still be doing Zoom interviews just with like a bark face,
As a tree.
just as a wise tree to look over humanity.
I might watch that. How long is it?
45 minutes, and he does all levels of interviews. He does huge interviews. He does student interviews. You know, we were semi-looking at getting him on our radio show. Do you not remember this?
We were.
Yeah, I was, and then
How were we?
because I saw that he does student radio all the time.
he does?
He doesn't care who it is.
Yeah.
He'll have someone with 400 subscribers and
Really?
then he'll just croak on and go and just come on like
apparatus,
US foreign policy, Western propaganda, and just, you know, croaks his way through. He just doesn't seem to. Someone else books it for him, and he has.
Yeah.
I don't even know if he knows who Piers Morgan is. What he must.
I don't think he even know who he is. He knows more about like the power apparatus distribution.
He knows
than
more
he
about.
does.
It's so high level what he knows about. It's so
Yeah.
big that
Yeah.
anything small, I think, just gets through the
Yeah.
grate.
Well, no, it would have been an honour to have him on. Maybe we could get him on this. Why stop now?
I would. Well, yeah.
Go on, try and get him on.
Because the last time it was that Noam was booked up for the next 6 months when we asked.
And that's the only reason he didn't want to come on Gould and Kerwin student radio.
We could have sold it right, because I reckon he would do Warwick Uni.
Yeah,
There's a chance. I mean, that was a uni radio. I think Boys Gone Wild. I'd love to get Noam on.
Yeah, if you look through, I think even just a minor look through some of the clips, that might be like, maybe this is enough.
What would you ask Noam?
What was our last clip? Oh, we need to put the Philip Schofield one up, actually.
Yeah.
What would I ask Noam? Oh, dear. I think I'd crumble in front of him.
Would you say, it'd be fun to ask Noam the question of what is less attractive? A woman to have balls coming out of her vagina.
Yeah. No, I think that's the kicker for the end of the interview.
Or a nose on her forehead.
Yeah. I think that's the kicker for the end of the interview.
Well, I think...
Should we try and get Zizek on as well and get him to debate that?
Not what is better, but what is being pushed by the Western agenda.
And I'd say you can fuck off now.
If you look at the New York Times, they clearly want you to think that balls coming out of a vagina is something horrible.
And that's when I wouldn't have any respect.
I'll be like, right, no, fucking hell, wrap it up, lad.
No, I wouldn't actually. I'd have to do some prep for that.
He's been doing the same shit since.
I know, that's
there's
the kind of
TV
thing.
Interviews of him in the 60s, and he's still
What's
saying
his
the
big
same
thing?
thing.
Is
his
it
big thing is
some matistics?
There's two things. He's the father of modern linguistics.
Yeah.
And what
was the thing
What was
within
the
it?
fucking thing?
There was that.
I never remember because I never.
Gnomes. Chomsky's.
That's
it. What was it?
It was something about how we perceive. It's like a nature nurture thing about language. It was something about how
not nature nurture, like perception.
It was
reality.
something about how we gain language.
Yeah, how language constructs reality.
Yeah. Oh, I think it was more about like as a child how you learn language.
Right. Oh, like developmental.
And I think he changed the whole view of people that. But that's and so all of his foreign policy stuff, which is the only stuff I ever hear, that's his side hustle. That's what he just does on the side.
Yeah. Well, what was he? He was a linguist.
Linguistic. Well, he was like Freud of linguistics.
Yeah.
So big daddy.
Fucking nerd. However way you spin it, if you ask me.
And then the second field he does geopolitics.
He should tell him to go swimming or something.
Yeah, he needs another hobby. But what is funny is that he's the most moral, ethical academic I've ever seen. But weirdly, I saw this one interview about him talking about animal rights, and he's not a vegan or vegetarian, which surprises me.
Yeah.
He's all about his big two is climate catastrophe and nuclear. Like he's terrified about nuclear horror. Like it keeps him up at night. Clearly,
yeah,
he can't stop.
The man hasn't slept for years.
Yeah, he hasn't. He's terrified of nuclear war. But when it comes to animals, he had like a weirdly flippant attitude. Like he's so carefully thought through everything. But then he's like, I don't really have time to worry about that sort of stuff. If there's chicken in my salad, I'm not going to be picking it out.
But so he's not a vegetarian.
No, it's just
but
so
does
surprising.
He talk about animal rights?
Yeah, but he basically said animals don't have the same rights as humans because they don't have the same responsibilities. So basically, because chickens don't have a job,
we can eat them.
So it was funny, like it didn't chime at all with his his moral complete discipline.
Yeah,
and then when it comes to food, it's like, if there's chicken in my salad, I'm not fucking picking it out. I don't have time for that shit.
Yeah,
I've got bigger fish to fry or bigger chicken to eat in my salad.
It depends if he's got an actual kind of view on it, rather than just being flippant. He probably does.
He's got a big view on it, of course he does. He thinks about everything. The man thinks about everything. And any debate with him, he always brings up, he remembers everything. So he has a quote from someone he's read every newspaper since 1922. So he just knows anything that anyone's ever said, just whips it out.
Fair.
But yeah, that would be dream podcast on the guest.
Try it again. Dream podcast on the guest, 100% love, big vibes.
That's like really one of those
feeling.
like chat
really
GPT.
Excellent, very good. Real cool.
There's like a comment.
Love.
Wow, best podcast on the guest.
Would be great. Great would it be? Love it. Podcast Noam Chomsky on guest.
Best podcast on a guest ever.
My gripe of the week is
US foreign policy.
US foreign. Enough Noam. My gripe of the week is I'm not gonna reveal it immediately. It's gonna become clear, and I'm gonna ask you a few questions.
Great.
If you're writing or saying how a dog would speak, or not how a dog would speak, we're not anthropomorphizing it, just like what a dog sounds like. Give me some
woof.
Great.
Okay.
Another?
Rough.
Yeah. One more.
Bark.
All acceptable. So now, where the fuck does bow wow come into play? What the fuck is bow wow?
Okay.
You hear that?
Yeah.
You see that in cartoons or something. It will
Bow
say,
wow.
It will say there'll be a dog and he'll be like doing whatever and they go bow wow. Tell me, show me.
Where did you see this?
You see, I don't know, but it's everywhere. It's
Everywhere?
proliferated around our culture to such a degree that you
Everywhere.
always can't get away from bow wow.
It's like Starbucks.
It's like Starbucks. Bow wow. What? Now, do the bark. Right, so bark. What does that sound like?
Ruff.
Well, that's rough, you dickhead, but do...
Woof.
But yeah, like... Yeah.
Ruff.
Bark.
Bark.
A little bit.
Bark.
Because it's onomatopeic.
That's how my dog goes. My dog goes bark.
Yeah. I remember that. Actually.
Bark. He goes bark.
Bark. Bark now.
Bark, 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 bark.
So, bark,
Bark.
Rough.
Ruff.
Woof.
Woof.
The classic, the most obvious onomatopoeic.
Barkers.
Do bow wow.
Bow wow.
No? Try it again.
Bow wow.
Doesn't make any sense.
Oh, maybe. Bow wow wow.
Oh, maybe. Well, you mean the... But no, because...
That's how a little... You had a big dog, though.
I big dog, though.
You had a big dog, though.
You had a big dog, though. Yeah, but you had a big dog, though.
I had a small dog,
Just because I had big dog, don't mean that I don't know how little dogs sound.
I had little dogs, so I know how little dogs sound.
No, so I know you might know better. You might know little dog better because I have big dog. That don't mean that I don't also know how other dogs sound. I don't only listen to my big dog.
Big dog go rough.
Big dog go
Little dog go bow, wow, 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 wow.
Well, the one that I respect.
It's hot, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm sweating. I put too much moisturiser on this morning as well, so I've been literally it's been dripping into my mouth.
Also, we're filming on a Monday, so it's off our schedule. So
Monday,
if anything seems
weird,
off kilter, it's because we've broken our highly structured
midday
schedule. Yeah.
It's midday on a Monday, which is, wow, bow wow.
Bow wow wow wow.
Right, now that's the best answer I've heard because I was doing this on Saturday.
Bow wow 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 wow
No,
wow.
I get it's like bow wow wow wow. Like, bow wow 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 wow. Bow wow wow. Right.
Bow wow 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 wow.
Now I get that. That's not good enough for me still. It's still a gripe. Because you read it as bow wow. That's not onomatopoeic. You read bark and it sounds it. Woof. Sounds like it. Bow wow. When you read it off the page, you don't go bow wow 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 wow. You go bow wow. Why does the dog go bow wow?
Yeah, it's true.
The dog shouldn't go bow wow.
I thought this as well.
Yeah.
But I think we've also cracked.
Well, you didn't have the courage to bring it up like
No,
I
I
did.
didn't. Because I'm too scared of the forces that be.
Exactly.
Big bow wow.
Big bow wow. Or what's the big dog? Snoopy. Big Snoopy. Did Snoopy go bow wow? Probably. Too many dogs have gone bow wow.
Went bow wow.
Why?
I feel bow wow is quite a new thing.
New? Bow Wow's been around for longer than you have, mate.
Was Bow Wow an old dog cartoon?
Yeah, Bow Wow for me sounds like 1920s kind of. Oh, the dog goes Bow Wow.
I don't think so.
Well, why would it now go Bow Wow?
I think it's similar. For me, I tie it in very much with the doggo movement.
No. Dogs been going Bow Wow
little
well
doggo,
before.
little dog, dude.
Yeah, dogs have been going Bow
Little
Wow in
pooper.
cartoons way before the doggo movement. What do you mean, little pooper? What does that add to the conversation?
No. I mean, that's part of the from the doggo movement, which was a big movement in the early 2010s.
Was it not a bit later?
No, I think it was peak millennial.
I feel like it goes in troughs. It's going up again now, though. I think.
Doggo's coming back in a big way? And
Maybe
then you can
not
have
as much
a
as
small,
Peter,
you can have a small doggo or a small pooper, which is like a puppy.
Small pooper.
And I thought those went bow wow.
Yeah.
A small pooper went bow wow.
So a large pooper wouldn't go bow wow?
Imagine Noam Chomsky listening to this.
He's just in the middle on that chair holding a mic.
He hasn't zoomed in. He's flown in for this one.
Yeah, we're yet to address him. We've done the intro, and then I just say, so, well, my gripe of the week is dogs go bow wow. He'd probably tell us why.
Probably.
I mean, that's the best answer I've heard.
Yeah.
But that's not what it... you can't communicate that with bow wow. Just a thought.
Well, that's thought of the week.
Yeah.
Also, apologies for last episode. I've taken it out now in the YouTube editor when I forgot to edit out a toilet break, leading to a bizarre 2.5 minutes.
Well, it was because Elle told me. She went, I presume you didn't mean to leave that in. And I hadn't watched the episode or anything. I just went on it, and then there was neither of us in shot.
This is fucking mental.
For a good 30 seconds.
That fucking
and then as well, in a way, the only thing that I thought was kind of good, which I would have liked if I was a viewer or listener to this podcast.
Peek behind the wizard's curtain.
A peek behind the wizard's curtain. Let's get under the hats.
Let's check out his panties.
And it's funny for me to see it as well, of kind of me coming back from the toilet and then just the brief moment of planning, which looks like we're talking about the most serious thing in the world. But then
what did we say?
Because we were just like, normally, because we don't always go for a toilet break mid-episode, but it depends on how much tea I've had before.
Yeah.
But so when we do, it's rock and roll now. But when we do, it's like we'll do a quick, we can do this, this, and this, and how long's left. And so it will be something, the seriousness of which we're planning, but the nonsense of which you're talking about. So we'll do like, is Philip Schofield a nonce?
Yeah.
Then Andrew's Gripe, with something to do with like, poop or something.
Yeah,
Okay. And then it's suddenly, hey, and then you go into it, which I think is quite interesting to see. Did you take it out?
I did take it out. I just think, it's funny for people coming from the story. But I think when people look back on the episode, it's like, this is a bit mental.
It's not great.
And also, I can't take it out the audio one without losing all of our stats on it, so I'm probably going to leave it in that.
Got to leave it in.
But audio, video's funny. Audio way worse.
Audio, like what the fuck is going on?
I mean, it's amazing how few people commented. I only found out because Elle told you, but no one normally
it should, and rightly so, should be an inquisition into like, what the fuck is that? When it just
almost
stopped.
shocked me how few comments there were. It was like, surely you guys have more to say for yourself.
Yeah, funny.
In other news, we had there's news that Apple are now changing the autocorrect.
Oh yeah,
finally in their big iOS update.
Well, this is actually ginormous podcast news.
Yeah.
So they're I don't know if they're changing anything else about the autocorrect, but there's no longer going to be fucking change to ducking.
Which feels like a bit of a
feels like a bit too late, doesn't it? Feels like a bit too little, bit too fucking late. If they'd have done this, a year earlier,
maybe you would.
I would probably be on a lot more money a year, and have a lot.
It's cost
more,
you a lot.
It's cost me. Yeah,
you could have bought a lot of Apple products with the money you would have made.
I could have. Which is an incentive enough for them to do it, I guess. So for anyone that doesn't know, I'd had an incident with autocorrect with the police, which you can go back and look at. We won't explain it, but
he called police officer a cunt
because we were trying to work out whether they changed cunt to anything like they changed fucking to.
I mean, it was mental that they changed fucking to ducking.
Yeah, and not cunt to anything.
But if you look at the way they were talking about it in that BBC article, it wasn't because of
me sending cunt to a police officer. It
wasn't censoring the word.
It was what?
It was more saying that you probably meant this.
Ducking?
Yeah.
No,
Which was what's so mental about it. Because you thought it was a way of trying to stop people being so rude.
No. I'm not saying it's for Apple to stop people being rude. How about you be nicer to each other when they just don't let someone type out fucking? No, I thought it was to do with like kids using it.
Go on.
Well, kids shouldn't be exposed to that kind of language. But I suppose if they're typing
That's
in,
what I was saying that you were saying.
No, but that's well, I didn't say it was Apple trying to make everyone more polite.
Kind of is though.
No, it's about censoring. It's not politeness. I just said it's kids, and then I realised. But then if you type it in, then it's already kind of happening. But and when we got down to it, it doesn't actually make any sense.
No, not
if someone's typed it in, then why change it? It's already the damage is done.
Ducking is so rarely used. Ducking is such a. I don't know how many times I've ever. Have you typed out ducking?
Why couldn't I walked past your house, but I couldn't see the other day. Oh yeah, I was ducking behind the window.
That's fair enough.
Yeah,
and they changed it.
I use that sentence a lot.
And then luckily they changed it because if you'd said you accidentally typed in fucking,
and they'll be like, whoa,
you were fucking behind the window.
What do you mean behind the window?
But it said about ducking the big change, but they didn't say anything about count to cunt.
But it didn't change it.
Did it not change it?
Oh, let's just do it again quickly. I've got no police. I'll do it I'm on my stepbrother's messages of my stepbrother, so that's fine. Cunt. Doesn't change it.
Okay.
I might have sent it to Ollie. But no, hold on, joke. So
regretted it immediately.
Well, I just realised because he listens, so in my mind he's listening live.
No,
but I've just because I've
sent him another message.
It's because he hasn't replied for a day, so now it is a bit more like cunt, which really isn't our relationship. But Yeah, so it's, I mean, big changes. I don't want to say that I was
Bog changes.
Bog changes. I don't want to say that I was, I don't know, a figurehead of some sort of revolution that's occurring. But
you were definitely a victim
certainly,
of it.
yeah, I was certainly a lesson to be learned. And I think...
If it was an Aesop's fable, what would be the lesson that was learned from that story? As a sort of like...
Really tough one to answer. There is no lesson.
Don't call a police officer a cunt. Yeah.
Don't play with fire. No, that's already a thing.
Don't text cunt to a police officer.
Well, yeah. Well, again,
Ancient
but
wisdom
the fable. The problem with that is I knew that. I didn't do it on purpose.
Yeah.
I played with autocorrect and I got burnt. It's really do not tangle with the beast that is autocorrect.
Well, it feels like the tortoise and the hare. You were the hare, weren't you? Brashly racing forward, confident that you wouldn't text cunt to a police officer.
This is why I don't think it's applicable to be put into like a fable for any kind of life lesson.
With the tortoise and the hare, I never really liked the tortoise and the hare. Did you like the tortoise and the hare?
It wasn't one of my favourites.
Because the hare's fucking quick as shit, and he's racing really fast.
Yeah.
The tortoise, slow and steady wins the race, right?
Yeah.
Tortoise is really slow. The hare blasts the race. And then thinks, I'm so far ahead, I'm going to snooze.
Yeah,
and then oversleeps.
No.
It's like,
well, was he a bit tired as well?
I don't think so.
Was he just cocky?
I think it was just, when I read it, remember, it was just hubris.
Yeah, which isn't really...
It's like, don't go for a nap.
Well, then the moral isn't really, don't go too quickly. The moral is,
don't take your foot off the gas, lad.
Yeah, keep fucking going. It was like, because basically the hare is sick at what he's doing. But he just thinks he's too good at what he's doing.
Yeah, because the tortoise is fucking slow.
So it's not really but isn't that the kind of the lesson? Like, what? Don't be too cocky. Don't.
That makes sense.
Yeah, rather than the speed. But it was about the speed, isn't it?
It was about cockiness. It was definitely about cockiness.
Yeah.
Him falling asleep.
But in what situation is it like? What situation is slow and steady good? I guess with like I don't know, maybe a bit for detail.
Maybe
writing stuff.
If you're on one of those electrifying loop things in like the Science Museum where you get electrified.
Well, you've got to say slow and steady wins the race then.
Yeah, so I guess that.
But if it's a timed race, it's a balance, isn't it? You don't
want
to be...
because a timed race, because otherwise you're too slow. If you're competing against someone else.
Operation.
Yeah, it just no part of that story made me think I want to be the tortoise.
No, the tortoise was
if I was the hare, I just won't fall asleep in the middle of the race.
But what do you think the main application of it is? To teach you...
And also, the hare nearly won. I remember
Did he stop right by the line just to take the piss, or was he...
No. It was relatively near, but I remember the tortoise... When I remember the images of it, I remember the tortoise just crossed the line, and the hare, asleep miles away, was so quick he almost managed to catch him.
Really?
So the tortoise still only just beat the hare.
Yeah, but he won.
He did win, but also it's like...
But the thing is, the hare definitely wouldn't let that happen again.
Never.
So the real lesson of this parable is from the hare takes. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because he knows now to never do that again.
Yeah, and it's not like... He would just crush the tortoise every other time.
Yeah, because he won't take a nap at the finish line. It doesn't seem... What do you think is... But why when they sat down to write it, what's like, we need to teach our kids to go slow and steady?
This is a Greek ancient fable. This is Greek wisdom.
What's the lesson? Like, where is that applicable? Where should we be slow and steady rather than quick?
Because it's probably the most famous fable of all time.
Yeah, slow and steady wins the race. But like, the race as well. It's like, no, it doesn't.
It really doesn't.
It really doesn't.
Fast and steady.
I think in 99.9% of races, fast wins the race.
Yeah.
The only one being the instance where a hare fell asleep on the finish line. Doesn't seem...
It might be the only race where slow and steady
I think it was the only race. You can't write a story and then be like, this now applies to every race.
But it's not even not being steady, him deciding to take a nap. It's just him being completely...
Is it
it's
like
gross
detail?
negligence.
It's negligence, isn't it? It's like...
That's not a lack of steadiness.
If you've got an essay to write... and you just bang through it, then it's not going to be very good. If you take your time and make sure do a few drafts, then it's going to be good. I suppose that's an application with some of those.
But it's more like if you're the fastest and best essay writer in the world, and then you're just burning through it, and you look at the clock, and say, "I've got like 45 minutes left. I'm nearly finished." Don't do that.
And then don't finish it.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Because I feel we could fix admittedly, the Fable was written like 6,000 years ago, 5,000, whatever. I reckon I would have changed it so that the hare was going so fast that he crashed into a tree. That would make a lot more sense, right?
It would, because I think, no, it would. He was too, because he's running so fast.
Yeah.
He ran too fast for his own good, so he couldn't see almost, because it was blurry kind of surroundings, crashes into a tree and dies. Well, no, but he gets knocked out instead of purposely falls asleep.
Yeah.
Because is the message, go slow and steady, or is it, don't be a cocky bastard?
I don't know. I don't actually think it's a good fable.
No.
I think it's a poor fable.
Because there's many races where you want to be really quick.
Yeah. As in any race.
Any race. Well, in a marathon.
Yeah, I mean,
you don't want to.
I definitely.
Well, it doesn't though. In a marathon, you're still the quickest overall. I know. Yeah, but this isn't. It's not just the race is a metaphor in itself. If a murderer is chasing you.
Do you remember Sports Day in year 10?
How could I forget?
Our house is a 800-meter runner. What were you?
15. 1500. Went every year, and I never know why I did it, because it was the thing I was probably best at.
Yeah.
But just the genuine like nervousness.
Yeah.
Because it's like doing a long distance event.
Horrible.
It's fucking shit.
Yeah. I did 800, and I was up against Paul Greenhouse.
We had our own battles because I had James Oliver, who's like a county runner. So we had
2 cross-country races in our packs every year.
Yeah.
And me and Andrew are pretty good stamina-wise.
Not bad.
Well,
we were up there.
We were fighting for second and third every time.
Second was where we wanted. First was unobtainable.
But then one year I thought, look, I know I might as well go for first.
Yeah.
So this maybe can be applicable to the Tortoise and the Hare.
Sure.
So 800 metres, I think you do 3 laps.
So instead of the Tortoise and the Hare, it's Horatio and Paul Greenhouse.
I think you do 3 laps of 2.
It's 400-metre track.
Fine. You do 2 laps. First lap, I go, right, I'm just going to...
I think I remember watching
Do you remember? Yeah. And I was just like, right, I'm going to pelt it.
Yeah. I remember you sprinting, yeah.
So I just was like, if I'm going to beat if I'm going to beat Greenhouse, I'm going to have to really get some headway in. And I was like, it was like balls to the wall. I finish second to this cunt every year. Yeah. If I'm going to have a chance...
fed up of seeing his tush.
Exactly. His tight little
tush, his runner's body.
And then I smash that first lap, and then I even see people in their paper plates and stuff at Sports Day. They're looking up. They're like, "Who's this?
What are they doing? Is that sorry? Looks like they're writing on the. They're eating.
I guess he was sort of like buttering.
Yeah, the parents with their strawberries and cream.
And then they stop their conversation and they see, who's this guy just pelting it? Why is everyone else running so slow? And they see me go round, and I'm starting to get quite excited. Like this
great. Might actually. How far did you get?
And then on the second lap, I keep the pace going. Yeah. And then my body completely internally collapses, maybe 300 meters before the end, maybe 200 meters.
So a significant amount, yeah.
Yeah, and then it just like slowly, bang, bang, and I finished third, nearly fourth. So I basically I finished someone who I was better at running at.
So you head it up then?
I head it up. That felt like a better fable than the Tortoise and the Hare.
Yes, that is a better fable than the Tortoise and the Hare. But then
also I was the underdog in that, and I lost.
And I would also like to say that Slow and Steady didn't win the race because Paul Greenhouse ran it faster than you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it still doesn't actually...
Slow and Steady in the first lap helped the second lap.
Yeah.
Like, it should be about
pacing.
I ran the first lap quicker than Paul Greenhouse.
Yeah. It should be about pacing because in a way...
Yeah.
And this is going to be controversial, but even in the Tortoise and the Hare, Slow and Steady didn't win the race. The Tortoise raced it quicker than the Hare.
Wow.
Because he ran it in less time.
Yeah.
The Hare ran it slower, so he lost the race. It is, and I'm going to say another thing that's controversial.
Go on it.
It's impossible to win a race slower than someone quicker than you.
Yeah, we should also lower the age of consent.
What?
Sorry, I thought I was in the slipstream of your controversy. I thought I'd throw one out there.
Right, yeah. It's always good.
That's the best one.
You want to pick someone equally controversial. The Tortoise and the Hare and the age of consent, yeah. No, I completely agree.
Do you know any other fables? Have you got any other ones in your locker? Is there any other?
I get confused between the Fables and like Hans Christian Andersen. Do you know what I mean?
Don't spin your glass.
You know what I mean?
don't act like this cool guy.
You know what I mean? Do you think I think that's cool?
this fucking...
Who, it's like...
The Grimm's Tales, you mean?
Yeah, and
they
like...
have morals. Do they have fables?
Yeah, but they all do. Like, you know...
So what's the
probably
fable? What's the moral?
Goldilocks and the Three Bears has a fucking...
Yeah, that has a moral.
Yeah. Don't go into a bear's house.
It's about porridge.
Yeah.
It's a porridge-based
It's
moral.
mostly porridge. It's mostly porridge-based. It's oats. It's an oaty fable.
Yeah,
What are the other-
she
what are the-
snoozes as well. So Goldilocks breaks into the
Breaks into the house.
three bears and then tries the four different porridges.
3.
It's like two.
Too hot, too cold, just right.
Yeah.
The beds, too hard, too soft, just right.
Yeah, and then because she felt after eating the
Yeah.
porridge, she felt a bit sleepy.
Yeah.
You're in someone else's house.
Bitch deserves everything she gets. You can't,
She's
if someone came into my house...
And there was like, ooh.
Imagine coming to our house, and then there were 3 porridges on the as they're off and on every morning. Me, yours, and Adam's. Yours is too hot, mine's too cold, Adam's is just right. Lovely. And then, after this fucking
burglar,
breaker and enterer has come into our house and said, oh, that porridge was so lovely, I need a nap. Comes into my bed going, oh, that's far too hard. Goes upstairs to yours, oh, that's far too soft.
Yeah.
Goes into Adam's, oh, that's just right.
Yeah.
If I came in and found her, I'd kick her.
I think in all of these fables, there's far too prevalent naps. I don't think naps are as prevalent as being made out in these wise tales.
I don't know.
Would you?
I don't know.
You're a big napper.
I'm a big napper.
You still napping hard?
No, I'm not anymore. Actually.
Is it the heat? Would you
No,
ever
swimming.
siesta?
Swimming's actually replaced it because I go for that in my lunch break rather than
Okay,
have a nap.
fair enough.
And that's a kind of good decision, rather than go to sleep in the middle of the day.
Because
then you go outside the house and do
is
some
going to
extra.
catch you.
You're damn right.
That's you napping.
So I have been both the tortoise and the hare. Well, but surely that makes me the top. Forget it. What Goldilocks? What's the moral there? Genuinely. What happens? The bears come back. Do they kill her?
No, they don't kill her.
Don't know, mate. I don't think they do, but they might. Let's just quickly check.
I think they gangbang her.
Right, no, that's
And
the.
she goes
you've been
too
watching a
big,
different
too
version.
small, just right.
100%, 1000%, at least 5. No, at least 50 porn videos of that exist.
Definitely.
Like more than
Too
50?
big,
200?
too small,
Too small, just
right.
Oh, God.
Goldie whore.
Goldie Cox.
Goldilocks.
Goldie Cox and the 3 blokes. Goldilocks and the 3 bears ending. We'll get the
Spoilers. Guys.
Arnaldo,
By the way,
it's a fairy tale.
spoilers coming up. If you haven't read Goldilocks and the 3 bears, spoilers coming up.
Big spoilers. Sorry. Yeah, I don't want to ruin anything. Goldilocks' fate varies in many retellings. In some versions, she runs into the forest. In some, she is almost eaten by the bears, but her mother rescues her. In some, she vows to be a good child, and in some, she returns home. So the bears never eat her. She makes it out.
What's the moral?
Just because
because
something looks enticing doesn't mean it's yours. But like, who needs to know that?
What is the moral?
I think it's actually quite.
What is the moral of Goldilocks?
It's quite capitalist. I think it's
The
kind
moral
of.
of Goldilocks and the 3 bears is that individual actions can hurt others, especially when one person uses or destroys another person's property.
Yeah, I was going to say it's quite capitalist with private property.
Yeah.
Keep your mitts off my porridge. I think
So
that's
it's
that's
like
the moral.
It's like it was written by landlords.
Yeah, get your mitts off our fucking porridge. Yeah, just because just because you're sleeping on that bed doesn't mean you own it.
What's the moral of the tortoise and the hare? Let's just get it properly.
Yeah, is it hubris or is it don't run so quickly?
When the hare reached the point where the race ended, all the animals were laughing at him for losing the race to the tortoise. That day, he learnt a lesson that bragging about something doesn't win you accolades. Hence, you should never mock others for their own pace.
Oh, so he was giving him some chat.
Yeah, he was giving it off the
so
whole time.
So it's mostly about hubris then.
Yeah.
But so then, when people have said slow and steady wins the race, they've actually extracted an incorrect moral lesson from the tortoise
I don't
and
know.
the hare.
I said that. I don't know if people
absolutely say that.
That slow and steady wins. I know slow and steady wins doesn't.
That's definitely people are when someone says slow and steady.
Is that definitely about the tortoise and the hare?
It's going to not always be about the tortoise and the hare, but it is sometimes. When someone says slow and steady wins the race, they're subconsciously thinking about the tortoise and the hare.
Yeah. And so Snow White, we don't know.
Well, that's fairy tales. Is there parables?
That's not.
There's another parable out there.
No, I don't know. Really.
Like
the goose that laid the golden eggs.
That was one.
The man and his wife.
Oh,
owned a
Boy
goose.
that Cried Wolf.
Yes.
That's a pretty lit one.
I like that one.
I like that one.
That one holds up.
That one holds up.
Because you're like, the poor boy gets fucked, but it's like, God, that stuck with me as well.
Yeah. I think I was told that at 4, never cried wolf since.
Yeah.
Because before 4, I was crying wolf all the time.
And you could, also the strength of a fable has to be how much people use it as a quick hand to basically explain a complex moral truth. But then you can just be like, boy cried wolf.
Boy cried wolf, and then it's a kind of cultural meme that everyone goes, yeah, I know what you mean.
Imagine coming up with fables.
What's the difference between a fable and a parable? Doesn't matter, does it? Parable is a biblical thing? Parable?
Yeah, I think fable has to have a moral lesson to be taken from it.
So does the parable. Well, like, what's the a Good Samaritan? The Good Samaritan, that's a parable. Who cares? I don't.
I was last Sunday. Well, yesterday actually.
Last Sunday.
This Sunday, yesterday, I was at a family gathering and P. Gould was out in full force.
Yeah.
So it was a meeting of the Goulds, which is already.
Someone's calling you. Well, has been repeatedly, I think.
Oh, my dad.
Sorry. Oh, get him on.
Get him. Yeah. So P. Gould was on good form this week.
What was he?
So it was a meeting of the Goulds, and normally it ends in tears, and there's normally big fights because like.
How many Goulds?
Maybe 5 true Goulds there.
Right, and 6 half-bloods.
Yeah, 6 half-bloods, mud-bloods. But if you hold the Gould name, you're the cunt.
Yeah.
And if you don't, you're normally all right. So it's like whoever actually holds the name, that's where the Gouldness has been focused.
Yeah. That half of the table is ruining the time.
And so he did 2 things. My cousin had just brought a new girlfriend into the Meet the Goulds, which is a big deal when you finally can bring someone from the outside. BB was there, but she'd already met the Goulds herself. And so my dad, overhearing a conversation, or half of a conversation about, so Freddie, my cousin's girlfriend, had been promised a grad scheme, had an offer.
Yeah.
And based on that, she'd gone travelling, expecting to have a job when she came back. And then when she came back, when she came back, the offer was gone.
No grad scheme.
It just fell through literally a week before she was meant to start. So she's completely fucked.
Yeah.
Really tough. And
I bet Peter Gould's got some opinions on this.
My dad overhears it, comes over and says, they did what? They give you an offer? Let's sue the fuckers. Let's sue them. We later find out it's the NHS that she's...
Well, I mean...
And he's like, excellent. Even better.
He said even better?
Even better. He says they've got a huge liability budget. They're getting sued all the time. Let's do it. Honestly, if they gave you an offer, let's sue the fuckers. We'll drown them in paperwork, yeah? It'll be more hassle.
To drown the NHS in paperwork.
It'll be more hassle.
That's a tactic used by like huge firms with tiny, not Peter Gould versus the NHS. What paperwork is he going to drown them with?
He said, honestly,
there's one offer.
It'll cost them more to fight the case than to give you a job.
Does he walk around thinking he is a multinational organisation?
He's bouncing at the idea of suing the NHS. My dad is fucking bouncing. He's barely met this woman. She's just been brought into the family fold. It's a lot meeting all the Goulds. My dad's immediately like, you and me, baby.
So, is it part of demonstrating like you're now in this new Gould circle?
No, I think genuinely...
New doors are going to be open for
genuinely, I think my dad just looks at any situation objectively. I don't think it's not him fronting, it's not... Just, he hears a situation and he thinks, here's the solution to that, and says it out loud. It's not... There's really not much going on.
Is it a solution? Is suing the NHS a solution?
I don't know. So later on in that meal, we were talking about how the Edinburgh Fringe Awards for like Best Newcomer and Best Show are maybe not going ahead this year because of a lack of funding.
Yeah.
All right. My dad overhears this and says, how much do they want? And I said, there's 200 grand they're looking for from a fund. And he says, all right. So when they say 200k, they mean 100k. All right. They'll do it for 100k. How about this? If I get that awards, will you get it? So what he wanted to do is he wanted to fund that Edinburgh Comedy Awards
to give you
and then give me Best Show.
So entirely private. Do you
not see any problems with this?
Was there no hint of tongue in cheek. It was
obviously a bit tongue in cheek, but he's more the way he talks about it. It's not
how quickly that would come out.
Yeah, but the way he talks about it is it's not like tongue in cheek. It's more like there's no bad ideas in brainstorming. You know, it's very much like let's follow this through. Yeah. The idea is a bit rough now, but if we hammer it out, there's surely a solution we can come to.
Yeah.
So that's how it was displayed.
No, but it's fine to at least bring up an idea to have it pooed pretty quickly.
Yeah, and I think we were laughing at the idea that because it was called the Dave Comedy Awards because Dave sponsored it for years. So it was originally the Perrier, and it was
the Peter Gould Comedy Award awarded to this year Horatio Gould. Best show and best newcomer.
The Peter Gould Comedy Award.
The trophy is just like Peter's bust. He awards it to you. Clear resemblance.
It just really made me laugh. The Peter Gould Comedy Award.
The Peter Gould Comedy Award to Horatio Gould. The speed at which that would come out is so funny. It's like it's
one of the dumbest ideas.
Such bait bribery, just like corruption. So obviously, it would take. I think it would honestly take a couple of hours before your career was ruined.
Yeah,
you can't come back from that.
No, that's career over.
Game over. You should have been like, yeah, let's do it and see how far until he went. Actually, this is probably a terrible.
But he never thinks about that. He can't empathize with that sort of opinion.
What sort? But that's business logic as well.
Yeah,
that's the end. That's like a PR disaster. Surely he can think of in terms of that.
I don't know if he doesn't seem to understand.
Did you say the Gould Comedy Award given to Horatio Gould?
Yeah, I mean, obviously that was when it turned into a joke. I just don't think he really understands. He doesn't understand like how the difference between the arts industry and business. Like whenever,
but that's corruption.
Whenever I'm talking about advice with Boys Gone Wild, Finn versus the Internet, anything, his advice always is hostile takeover, without fail. It's always.
What things does he want us to take over hostilely?
I think he was spitballing, but I think he was asking.
Hostilely.
He was asking. He was saying that maybe you should start paying for the kit we use to film the sketches, and I said, "Dad, we use my phone." And then he said, "Well, let him. It's not his phone."
What a dickhead! So when he's saying hostile takeover, he's saying you're trying to hostilely take over me.
Yeah, everyone.
He's a maniac.
Everyone. Yeah. Every single time I've asked him for advice on any of these things, it's hostile takeover. Finn versus the Internet. Let's try and get you at least 51% of that. Blow them out the water.
Yeah, well, that's what it takes. That's what it takes.
It does. And I'm just trying to... And what he doesn't understand is I think in business you can think like that. So if you go into a partnership with someone, you can have in your back pocket that we're both in this for money. Yeah. And what he doesn't understand is like art or trying to build something, or in the arts industry working for free exposure and making something, it leads to lots of other stuff. Yeah. And he just never really got his head around that sort of stuff.
That's you know why he's got business now. So there's one thing you've got to give Peter Gould. He's one of these killers that you hear about.
It's true.
You hear like on TV shows, like, I mean, he's too ridiculous to be considered to be like part of Succession. You know what I mean? He's too just like the English London version. But you hear about killers, and that's what he is.
You got your oldest friend. You've got to start charging him
to use the sketches that we do together. I'd love to know how much you charge me to write and be in a sketch.
Well, it's just because we're using my kit.
But then we don't get any money for the... So I'm paying for the exposure that my sketches give me.
Well, it's rental fee.
Right. Oh, what a maniac. I want to see him. I haven't seen him for ages.
When was the last time you
should
saw
go on a night
Gould?
out with him. We saw him very briefly when he came here to look at the house. But like for a second. I want to go and like go to the Ivy and have a Peter Gould drunken night. He's a good drinking partner.
You want some advice, actually, probably.
No, I don't. I absolutely... He'll tell me to charge you for something. He'll just completely forget what he's talking about. No, I just want to go on like a bit of a silly night with him.
You should ask him about you at Monzo, because I reckon he would talk about trying to hostile take over Monzo.
As in me, trying to... a coup from the member of the financial crime department suddenly takes over. As in an insignificant member of the financial crime department takes over.
On here, on the docket, you've got surprises and dominoes.
Yeah. How long have we got?
We got 15.
Yeah, okay. Let's do surprises. Do you like surprises? Do you like surprises?
No, but I haven't had many. But I think that's because I've given off the vibe that I don't like surprises, so people haven't surprised me.
Right. So do you think you've
had
had
enough? I
enough?
wouldn't want to give off the vibe that I like surprise. What's that vibe?
Fucking loser.
Oh, he definitely likes surprises. Let's surprise him.
I think it's someone who, particularly for a guy, I think it's someone who's a bit like, oh, that's a bit, oh yeah. It's a bit like...
He likes surprises.
He likes surprises. He's not very... The guy who loves surprises isn't very, like,
Are
chill.
you saying that it's kind of gay to like surprises?
No. Why would you say
Well,
that's
I mean,
gay?
like camp.
That's
Are you
on
saying
you.
it's like...
That's on you.
Are you saying...
It's camp to like surprises,
Are you
100%.
saying it's just unmacho to like...
It's camp to like surprises.
So what's the straight, masculine, repressed approach to this would be hate surprises?
Well, probably my approach.
Which is hate surprises.
Hate surprises.
So on a
Hate
spectrum,
surprises 'cause I'm a
if it
control
was more or less camp, surprises...
Surprises are definitely camp.
Yeah, it's not hardcore.
Camp to macho.
Yeah, it's not like
surprises.
It's not a guy's guide and like I fucking love surprises.
Surprises are so far towards camp.
Mate, I fucking love,
yeah, just with a beer, just
mate,
like
I
mate.
love surprises.
Mate,
Do you know what I fucking
can't wait
love?
for my next birthday because I'm pretty sure my girlfriend's going to surprise me.
I fucking love surprises.
I think she's going to get all my close friends and family in a room and surprise me.
Because it's macho to be like, don't surprise me because you might end up.
You might end up fucking dead. Don't put me in a position where I might have to use my arms. Because I fucking will.
And you're like, because your arms are living.
I haven't used them in years. And I'm not sure they still work anymore. And he'll just embarrass
That's a
me.
real man.
And he'll just
Don't
embarrass
surprise
me.
me because I might have to see if his arms still work.
Yeah, well, it's like, don't corner me because I'm a wild fucking animal.
That's it. Yeah.
So if you startle me and I go into fight or flight, you better believe Daddy's a fighter.
Yeah, sure. So
And you'll be fucking right.
So where did this come from? Did someone talk about
So
surprising
I've
you?
only had one surprise. No, because I've always wondered this about myself. I was like, I don't think I like them, but I don't know. I haven't really had enough to kind of understand that.
When did you have a surprise?
Well, we were there. You were there for my only other surprise. There's one reason here which I'll get to.
Yeah.
But you were there for my only other surprise, which was when we were going to uni, and it was near my 18th birthday as well. So Mum said that we were going to go out for a meal with like my close family, and then we went upstairs to this room bit, and there was loads of people there, and it was like there was like 50, 60 people there, 50 maybe 40. It was like family, and you were there. She'd invited some of my friends to school. You, I think Milo. Paul and Max went there, but
I don't remember this.
It was somewhere.
Give me some more information.
Hilariously, this might make you remember it. Hilariously, Mum knows my friends very well. Yeah. Like some of them I've grown up with for like 15 years.
Yeah.
So there was you, Milo, and then maybe Andy. I think Paul and Max weren't here, but she'd invited them. And then I'm not going to say his name, but she just invited one guy who I wasn't that good friends with. Charlie Skates. Do you remember him being there? Who was like, we're kind of good friends, but it was really rogue. And then, do you not remember? Why are you looking at
I don't remember this at all.
No, do you not? Well, you were there.
Where was this? Where was this?
Well, I think
I was away.
You might have been away.
I don't think I was there.
Yeah, but there was...
Where was this?
Like Hayward Heath area.
Okay.
Yeah, you might have been away.
So how did you like that surprise?
Hated it. I hated it because I don't like attention.
Yeah.
Particularly on my birthday, which I know is kind of impossible not to.
That's why I hate birthdays, yeah.
I'm getting to the point where I don't really like them because it's such a thing. I don't actually like them that much because I kind of want to like them, but end up, I'm so embarrassed when someone says happy birthday to me. But that's horrible.
I also feel embarrassed because I feel like all of my career is attention seeking.
Yeah.
Podcast, stand up. It's that's all I'm doing is attention seeking. So it just feels like a birthday just seems like you're asking for more.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know,
That's fair.
I live such a narcissistic life anyway. It just feels overkill to also.
Yeah, I suppose that's true.
To make it about you.
Yeah, I think that's slightly overthinking it.
If you're like, I don't know, if you live a very like a life where you never get celebrated,
if you're celebrating you every day of your life, if every day of your life is trying to find better ways to celebrate you, to celebrate
this
yourself,
is a celebration of me.
To celebrate yourself to a greater and greater audience.
This is a birthday.
Then I could understand that. Every day's a birthday, yeah. No, so I realised I hated it because then there was a point where I was like, I think it's because in my head, my day's planned. We discussed this dinner, like food-wise. I'm a planner, which I'm on the verge of like a control freak in a way because I have my shit planned and together.
It's true, you do.
So when something is suddenly different to what's planned, I go, Well, no. This is not
So
what was
very
meant
much
to
like
happen.
you have non-verbal autism.
No.
I'm just saying it's similar.
Similar, do you think?
You've laid out your day, and as soon as it comes up, then now you can't compute.
Well, no, because the thing is, I can't. I'm not. I like to roll with the punches, but like when something as significant as like
stop this now, just start screaming stop.
Get away! But like, which is fine if like if I can throw an audible, as the American football people would say. It's like when you change it just before. I can go with the flow on a day, but when something goes, a surprise is just going. The thing that you planned, that's not happening. And then it's me going, well, I wanted to do that. What
had you planned that day?
Well, dinner with an intimate dinner with my close family, and then I was talking to like my great aunt.
Surprise!
And Charlie Skates. Love him. No stressing, but he shouldn't have been there.
Yeah.
That was like a few of my closest friends, and I looked over, and I think, I don't think you were there because you were on holiday. And so there was like four of them, and it was just like quite a measly crew. And one of them I was like, why is he here? For God's sake. But yeah, no, so because Elle came and surprised me.
And I ran into her.
Yeah.
I was like, do you not like that?
No.
Because I thought that was so sweet. I was like,
it's so sweet, but I had this whole thing planned. I was going to go.
She has one day off her tour. What a fucking nice surprise.
It's a lovely thing, but the even
you're
worse.
At home miserable, complaining.
The worst thing about it is I know that I don't like it that much. Now I do, particularly. But then, because you don't enjoy it, when someone's done something nice for you and thoughtful and you're not enjoying it, you feel like an even bigger cunt, and that makes you feel even worse. So you go into this spiral of like, I'm sorry about how I'm reacting, but I don't like this.
What had you planned that Elle's surprise?
Golf and drumming.
Yeah, I can see that being. I can empathise with you. You've got that. That's what your day's going to be like.
As you know, I'd had a long week.
I'd had a long week.
And then it was that Friday. I was like, I'm going to drum, and to be in fairness to her, she knew I was doing that. I was going to both. But then I was like, but now I feel bad about going drumming and golfing because I'll be out for 3 or 4 hours.
Crazy.
So I feel like I can't really do that because she's just come back, and I was meant to leave in like half an hour. So I just freaked out.
What, like Leonardo DiCaprio style freak out?
More like Daniel Day-Lewis.
Okay, so more.
I've abandoned my child! I've abandoned my boy! She was like, what?
Daniel Day-Lewis.
She was like, what child? Well, I'm not going to do that one. Don't try and get me cancelled.
That's what you did when Elle came in. You did my left foot,
which I'm not going to repeat. But yeah, no. But that was nice because it was a good moment for us as a couple as well.
To lay down some ground rules.
So lay down some fucking. Don't fucking cross me.
Don't do anything nice to me again,
Don't fucking cross me on that.
Yeah.
Well, no, just to realise, like, okay, I don't like surprises.
Yeah, I don't like them either.
So it's good to know.
But she strikes me as someone who does like surprises.
Loves them.
Have you ever? Were you surprised your ex?
Yeah, I know. I do surprising stuff.
You got surprises, so you don't mind giving them.
Giving them's quite nice.
Yeah,
because it's nice. It's nice giving someone something they like. It's not very nice giving someone something that they hate.
He who giveth, taketh.
He who giveth the surprise F
taketh
will often
away.
be surprised F himself about the bestowing of
fable.
beauty. It is. Yes. But no, it's good to know, and I think everyone should know. And the only way to know is trial and error, because you can only truly feel it in that moment.
Crime and punishment.
Crime and punishment, yeah. Yeah, exactly. I've got nothing else. I don't know what I was trying to think of. But no, so it's good to know. So
I'm terrified. Genuinely, I'm really scared. It's a similar reason I hate pranks.
No, really, I'm really scared.
It's why I hate pranks as well.
Yeah.
The idea of, I don't know, someone hiding behind a curtain, either to prank me or surprise me. Because prank is like sort of negative on you. Surprise is like positive in a way. They're two sides of the same coin.
True.
So let's say a friend who I haven't seen in ages, who I didn't think was coming back, he's hiding behind a curtain, and then, BB or someone calls me into the room and acts like nothing's going on. I'm so terrified that I'll start slagging them off. Or like something. I'm just like, or it going wrong.
Yeah.
Or like they jump out, I scream, and then accidentally kill BB
so hold on,
or something.
You don't have to worry about it because you're the one being surprised. So
Not true.
Yeah.
No, what if...
So the only way that would make sense is if you live your life constantly concerned that everyone is going to surprise you at any moment, so you don't slag anyone off.
No, I'm saying there's the chance that it goes wrong.
But let's say, so the surprise has happened for you. You don't have to worry about that because it hasn't gone wrong. The chances of it going wrong are tiny.
Or like someone's hiding in my room, I immediately start wanking.
Well, if someone hides in someone's room, that's stupid.
Yeah.
You shouldn't. That's on them.
I just feel there's a lot, or but like, I surprise someone.
You come in the door already wanking. I think that's on you. If
But
it's
also,
anything other than that.
I wasn't expecting you to be in here. I probably have a right as I walk into my room to come in ranking.
But if you come into the room,
someone...
if you come into the room wanking, then that's on you.
And if they're waiting
because
in
you have to
plain sight,
give them a chance to go surprise as soon as you come in the room.
I've got hardcore pornography on my phone and I'm wanking, and then I've got my whole family's in my room, not even hidden.
Yeah.
I just think there's a margin for error that I don't like.
But but do you know what I mean? And like, if let's say the margin for it is unlikely going to happen.
Sure.
There's going to be an error. So, but let's say you've been surprised for your birthday, and there's all of your 60 people are in a hall that you like mine. You thought you were going for dinner, but there's 60 people in a hall. Yeah. How do you think you'd actually feel about the surprise element?
Horrible.
Yeah. Why?
Awful.
Because of the.
Well, I think also
embarrassing.
Embarrassing. It's like, so you've turned this into like a kind of the shit part of Christmas.
Yeah. Yes, because I say
you turned my birthday into a sort of like.
Yes.
You do family gatherings. It's not for you. It's not like a narcissistic when you do family gatherings. It's like this is like a giving thing for the whole family.
Yeah. Well,
the birthday's about me. It shouldn't be.
Yeah, but you could do that with your family.
It shouldn't be extended family.
It could be. A lot of people would do that. That's not crazy.
I don't know if I want to speak to my great aunt on my birthday.
That's fair. Some people do.
Yeah.
But
in my birthday week, I'll give time for family.
But I think it's the worst.
Give time for moi.
I think, that's true. I think that it's the worst. It is the worst bit about Christmas. But I remember my dad seeing what I was going through, and he was like, I know you would hate this, because I always used to, and I still maintain, love. So on Christmas, when we tend to
love football, hate racism.
Well, that's kind of it. Really, when you narrow it down, that's kind of what it is. Yeah. No, I know. So when we'd sit in a circle and we'd take turns opening presents, I think that's the only reasonable way to do it. I believe animals will just start ripping it. You know.
What? So you can all react to it.
Everyone sees each individual.
They're civilized.
People that go like that is just like, that's literally like a dog eating its dinner. Give me the stuff. Give me all the things. I need them now. Whereas the other one is like, oh, that's nice. And it's like, look, Granny's got a new blender. And a little round of applause.
Oh, isn't that lovely?
It's one of my favourite bits about Christmas. I love...
Kitchen noise, thank you.
But no, because of that one, you don't even really say thank you to Ghana, because the person who's given you it is going, socks, chocolate. So... I
completely agree. I
firmly believe in going around in a circle, and I'm always the one who pipes up if anyone says anything differently. Because I've had a few different Christmases.
So you put your foot down
with different step families. Yeah, I have to be like, I don't want to. I've tried to put my foot down in other people's houses, and they've said no. And I don't know why. But the thing I hate, because I shoot myself in the foot because
that's already on the floor because you put it down.
Yes, my foot. Wow.
So you put your foot down
and then shoot it.
There's a moral in that.
There's something there.
Slow and steady wins the race.
Yeah, I like it a lot. There's been an episode of Parables and Fables.
It's a lot to learn.
I think it's a necessity to do it around a circle and wait for everyone to take their turn so you can see everyone's reaction, see what everyone got, otherwise we're animals. Yeah. But at the same time, my worst nightmare is opening presents in front of people. I fucking hate it. Even if it's it's perfect. It's something I've always wanted. The most thoughtful thing in the world.
You can't help but look ungrateful.
Think I look ungrateful.
Always.
I always. So everyone just like, oh, gee.
And even if you really wanted it.
Oh my God, thank you so much. Because I'm not. I think maybe are you the same?
As soon as I get what I want, even though I'm 26, I just go. I just start. But then I have to match that energy for everything. So even if I don't like it, even if it's like, even if it's a Lynx Africa shower set, I'm like, which feels insincere because I'm running around going, yes!
It does feel insincere. Yes! And the problem is once you do that for one Christmas when you're an adult, then the next Christmas, if you don't do it, and you're like, I'm going to try and get out of this routine, they're going to be like, what's wrong with your presents? What's wrong with your presents this year? And then you'll be like, no, it's just I was putting it on. And then they'll be like, well, that's even worse.
I completely agree.
So I think it's the sincerity thing. I've always fucking hated it. So it's the same thing about a surprise. Yeah. You're a bit like, all for me. Oh, thanks, guys.
Who's the podgiest mayor of this town?
What?
That's what I say. Who's the fattest lad in all the
Right,
land?
so everyone's going, shh, shh, shh. He's outside. Shh, shh. Ready? Surprise!
I'm going in wanking.
No, I just set that whole thing up. It took about 20 seconds to set up, and then you... Well, the wank is funny, no, but I'm saying you go...
Yeah.
Someone goes, surprise, you go,
I go,
who's the
ooh.
podgiest man? Right, let's just do it quickly.
Okay, go on.
Okay, shh, I think he's outside, right? He's nearly here.
So I'm coming in.
No, I've got that. You just do the line.
Okay.
You just do the line. Right, he's coming upstairs now. Everyone, get down, be quiet. He's going to go in. Just sound surprise you. Okay, ready? Surprise!
Oh! Ooh, look at this. Who's the fattest lad in all the land? Because it's sort of how you feel. You feel like a portly little prince. You're the fat mayor of the village.
What do you think people will react to that?
They'd be like, he loved it.
These glasses are steaming up. It's so hot.
They'd be talking about, yeah.
They'd be what? They'd be talking about that for years.
That
for years.
They'd be saying, I think he really liked it.
To be fair, you do have some weird reactions to stuff sometimes.
Who's the fattest lad in all
Who's
the
a portly prince belly? Who's got the big pork belly? Oh, who's a fat prince? But if you keep going with it, who's a big porky prince boy? Let me feed on you piggies, big porky boy. Everyone's standing there with champagne, being like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Oh, spank the pig!
Oh, come and spank the pig! Spank the pig good! Spank the pig good and hard!
Watch him oink!
Oink! I'm a piggy oink! Oinky little piggy boy! Oink oink! I mean, 10 out of 10 surprise party reaction. 10 out of 10.
It's a great way to make people never
surprise you again. Well, I think you'd be sectioned immediately.
Put an apple in my mouth because I'm just a hog.
Put a fork in me, I'm done. I think you'd be immediately sectioned if you had a reaction to like that.
On the docket before we go, you've written Dominoes. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, I had a Dominoes for the first. Everyone, well, not everyone. I suppose I haven't really brought up that I've stopped eating Dominoes.
You have?
Have I? Okay, cool. Well, for people
to my chagrin.
Yes.
I like much to my chagrin.
Me too.
Do you know what chagrin means?
It's a weird word. Or regret.
Chagrin.
Well, chagrin is like you don't approve of something.
Chagrin sounds like a Bond villain.
You don't approve of something.
Yeah. Chagrin, and he's got like
my chin's called chagrin.
Is it?
Yeah.
Your chin's called chagrin?
Mm.
What?
My
Don't look down. Don't lose eye contact after you said a sentence like that.
My chin is called chagrin. Chagrin is annoyance or distress at having failed or been humiliated. Oh.
Chagrin. Much to my chagrin.
Feeling distressed or humiliated.
Anyway, so much to my chagrin, Andrew talks about his Dominoes.
What? Much to your chagrin, I talk about the... Oh, I have. Yes. No, so for people that haven't been around for that long, I used to be obsessed with it. It was because it was for me.
Infants?
Yes, children under the age of 5. That's what I meant. I said, yeah, so...
So if you're between 2 and 3...
So I went Domino's pizza. For people that haven't been around for ages, I used to be obsessed with children. That's what I meant. Thank you for clarifying the it. I did think it was a bit fucking vague. No, I used to be obsessed with it. But I think it's a sign that you've become a man.
Do you?
That you can no longer digest it well.
Oh, you mean the mature, elegant, civilized digestive system?
The portly gentleman prince.
Is one that can't digest well.
Can't digest Dominoes well.
Yeah.
Because you're above the cheese and chemical.
What, just like sort of like putting chum down a chute. It's sort of it's more like padding down a hole. It's sort of like window insulation down a chute, like a pipe.
A few more?
The fluffy stuff that you'd use to insulate a roof, and then you have to
What is that?
Dominoes.
I suppose so. No, so I had.
How was it? And
no, I haven't even. I had some. It was a year. It was a year ago because the last time I had it was on the way back from Glastonbury. So it has been a year. It was.
What was the cool? Why did you do that? Why did you have Domino's?
It was when Elle came, and so it was all it felt like a fake day because she surprised me, and then we went and did stuff. So it felt like, and we got a bit lit. We came back and ordered pizza, and I was like, because I'm Papa John's now if I'm going to have a pizza like that. An American cheese pie. Because
you prefer it, or because it makes you feel less shit?
Makes me feel less shit.
Okay.
But I've grown to love it. It's like your trash pizza. But she didn't really fancy Papa John's, and then she was like, "Should we just try it, Domino?" It felt like a fake day. So took it slow on the first day. It was all right. But then I had it. The problem is, you get a large, you have it for breakfast the next day. Then you've had Domino's for 2 meals in a row.
Yeah.
I had the gall to try and swim after that. Nearly threw up in the pool.
Really?
Yeah. Genuinely, I usually do 45 minutes. I think I lasted 10, 15
What's
after
the moral
Domino's.
of that story?
Don't eat an American cheese pie before you exercise.
That's all we've got.
What's the moral of this podcast? It's a fable podcast.
The moral of this podcast,
The fable, the lesson that we take from it
is don't surprise a man,
else he will run too quickly
for he is the portliest man in the village.
and eventually lose the race.
Thank you.
Thank you.